the European Journal of Physiology that showed these huge increases in dopamine. That was the first of these sorts of studies. I don't know if I've mentioned this, but when you go in the cold for a very brief period of time, 1 to 3 minutes, and it's shockingly cold, you have to catch your breath, stabilize your mind. That evokes a dopamine, epinephrine, and norepinephrine release. These three things together are called the catecholamines. Those normally would increase from, a cup of coffee and a hard sprint for 10 to 30 minutes, maybe an hour. When you do the cold exposure, the way you're doing it, or longer exposures at about 50 degrees or so, you're seeing increases in dopamine, norepinephrine, and epinephrine that are 2 to 3x above baseline. This is huge.
Wow.
This is huge. This is on the order of many drugs. But the difference is most drugs spike dopamine and then drop it below baseline. The increases in this case are lasting many hours, 2 to 4 to even 6 hours.
That's amazing.
And they're whenever people criticize deliberate cold exposure, they go, it's not leading to that much fat loss. Granted. But to my knowledge, there is no drug, nor is there any form of exercise, conventional forms of exercise, that increase the catecholamines to that level for that long. And with dopamine, it's all about the amplitude and the duration, how fast it rises, how fast it stays up there. There's nothing quite like it. And, I did 3 plunges here. I'm staying at a place that actually has a plunge. I don't know the temperature, but it felt cold to me. So I did 3 minutes, 3 minutes, 3 minutes, and I had a hot tub, so I bounced back and forth for a minute in between. And as you know, you feel better much of the day, if not the entire day. That is not a coincidence. Your system is circulating much higher levels of the catecholamines. And this is shown in that paper. It's now been shown in a series of other papers. My colleague Craig Heller at Stanford has known this for a long time. And this is why, and for other reasons, the athletes at Stanford who use cold do it before their workouts.
Yeah.
Everyone now knows that it blocks hypertrophy if you do it after.
But if you wait a few hours, you're okay.
4 to 6 hours, you're probably fine.
Yeah. I like to do it first thing in the morning just because I don't want to do it first thing in the morning. And that's why I like when people complain about cold plunges. That's not worth it. It doesn't do anything. I'm like, fuck you, it doesn't. You just don't like the fact that other people can do it every day. And you don't like the fact that you can't do it every day.
You're talking to me specifically?
No, other
okay.
people.
Yeah.
Not you. You do. But there's people out there that will complain about something and find an excuse why it's not beneficial.
Right.
And the reason for that excuse is not that there's not data. The reason for that excuse is coming up with some sort of an excuse for themselves. That's what that is.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that I think of health and performance, so mental health, physical health, and performance along, fundamentals. You talk about these all the time. I think the 5 pillars, if you will, are sunlight, if I may, getting light in your eyes.
Yeah.
Avoiding too frequent bright light exposure in your eyes at night.